wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to the third talk in our monthly Thursday Noon Talk series. Before we begin, I would like to invite Mr. Naharuddin to recite the dua.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Al-Fatihah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma aftah alaina hikmataka wanshur alaina min khaza'ini rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Rabbi shrah lana sidrana wa yassir lana amrina wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawlina. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, sinarilah hati-hati kami dengan cahaya hidayah-Mu. Anugerahkanlah kami kefahaman yang baik, amal yang soleh, dan kasih sayang sesama insan. Allah ya Rahman ya Rahim ya Rabbal Alamin. Engkau berkatilah majlis pada hari ini dan segala yang bersangkutan dengannya. Jadikanlah majlis ini sebagai wasilah ke arah mempereratkan hubungan antara kami. Sempurnakanlah hikmat bakti kami ini sebagai satu ibadah. Limpahkanlah cahaya petunjuk kepada kami, supaya kami dapat terus melaksanakan tanggungjawab kami demi agama, masyarakat dan juga negara. Allah ya Aziz, ya Ghafar, ya Arhamar Rahimin. Sesungguhnya kami memohon kepadamu untuk memasuki syurga dan mengecap nikmatnya, dan perkara yang boleh menghampirkan kami kepadanya daripada segi perbuatan, niat dan i'tikad. Allah ya Qahar, ya Jabbar, ya Zal Jalali wal Ikram. Engkau jadikanlah pertemuan kami pada hari ini dengan segala kebaikan amal ma'ruf, dan perpisahan kami selepas ini sebagai perpisahan yang terpelihara dan muhasabah diri kepadamu ya Allah. Apa-apa yang telah Engkau putuskan terhadap kami daripada sebarang urusan, jadikanlah penghujungnya sebagai petunjuk. Mudahkanlah dan lapangkanlah dada kami, akhirilah amalan kami dengan amalan yang baik. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzabannar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa baraka wasallam. Walhamdulillahirabbil alamin.
Thank you, Mr. Naha. Before we start, I would like to extend a warm welcome to our honorable guest for the day, Dr. Saleh, Head of Department, Emergency Department, specialists, doctors, nurses, paramedic and the public. Our aim of conducting this series of talk is with such hope that they will enlighten and educate the public and finally set the record straight on various issues that have been debated numerous times, primarily on the social media. With that said, let me introduce our speaker for today's topic. Dr. Mustafa Ali Muhammad is a professor in Department Pathology, Faculty of Medicine, University of Malaya. He is a fellow of the Malaysian Academy of Science and has a vast experience in clinical pharmacology, herbal medicines, environmental health, food safety and drug abuse. He is a member of editorial board of many scientific journals and has served as an expert panel member of several bodies in food safety and quality, namely WHO Food Safety and Toxicology Evaluations Committee. He held the positions of Deputy Dean, Faculty of Medicines, and Deputy Director of UMMC, and currently Senior Consultant and Founder Member of the Shimadzu UMMC Center of Xenobiotic Studies. Today, he will elaborating on the unknown danger in our daily food consumptions. I would like to welcome upon Prof. Mustafa Ali.
Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to all audience. I know they are coming from the various groups. Ada daripada polis, ada daripada clinics, ada daripada luar, audience from my especially. Thank you very much for coming, and thank you to the emergency department for having a very far-sighted activities like having seminars and talks to the public like this. I think it should be a very good activity for a tertiary hospital like this one, because we are not supposed only to treat patients, We are supposed to inculcate academic activities and promote education to the public as well. Thank you very much. Okay, for today, I would like to share with you some of my experience on food that we consume. This is of interest to many because I heard a lot of comments and requests from the public that they would prefer this type of topic because they are confused. A lot of people are still confused whether they can eat this, that or not, or eat a bit or eat more, whatever. They still don't have any clear idea of what is supposed to be taken, what is safe, what is not. But for today, I'm not going to go into all that detail. I'm going to introduce to you something that you cannot see. That is more important, the one that you will not see. If you see the food with a lot of fungus, definitely you don't eat. That one is not my business today. My business is to tell you something that is hidden. You will not get it anywhere. Okay, that is my aim. Kenapa tak boleh pula tadi? Okay. Nanti sekejap, try dia ada button. Okay, susah nak start kalau tak ada slide. Okay. Okay, ada. Okay. Okay, it should work now. Okay, we start with some history. Just to introduce to you, this in 1940s, very long time ago in Japan, where people acquired a disease they call itai in Japanese, which happens to postmenopausal women living along certain river, Jitsu River in Japan. These people has got very peculiar type of disease where it affects the bones and skeletal deformation. And they didn't know why. These people were living alongside the river. And they know that the woman who suffered had high levels of cadmium poisoning after so many people were already infected. So that means cadmium has done something to the people living in that area. And true enough, after some studies, they found that cadmium is the one causing what the people there experience. And one important thing that I wanted to highlight here is cadmium can act as an estrogen mimic. That means estrogen is a hormone, a female hormone, and also found in people with affecting people with breast cancer and so on. What happened here is when we say estrogen mimic, it means they behave like estrogen. It is not an estrogen. It is a metal, cadmium, but they behave like estrogen. Okay. Tak jalan. What? Tak apa. Okay. And now let's look at another side. This is in the West now. In 1940s as well, we know this drug. Whether we don't know, we know, we don't. Now we have to know it. It is called diethylstilbestrol. This drug is prescribed between the 1940s and 70s to prevent miscarriages and as estrogen replacement therapy. And in the mid-70s, 7 or 8 cases of vaginal adenocarcinoma in women around 16 to 25, age 16 to 25, were linked to fetal exposure through maternal diethylstilbestrol injection early in the pregnancy. Approximately 1 in 1,000 pregnancies were exposed, and 75% of which resulted in female children with vagina and cervical carcinoma as well as uterine abnormalities. This incident tells us that the exposure is very much earlier, 2 generations earlier, and the effect was seen in the later generation. Okay, the grandmother takes diethylstilbestrol. The granddaughter has got problems with this vaginal adenocarcinoma, and nobody knows at the beginning what happens, what is going to happen to the third generation. This is as an example of how drugs can act in the long-term method or way. That means you're exposed today, later, much later, then only you see the effect. Okay, so this is something that we have to learn, and from here we know that if we are exposed to chemicals, we are not sure what's going to happen. This is a lesson learned. Even though it is a drug, people prescribe it, and the drug has already gone through studies, very serious, very tough clinical trial, but still you see that sort of effect, which is, it's not all the time. Once a while, once in the blue moon, it happens. Okay, and now look around us. We have more than 90 chemicals. Everything that you touch are chemicals. Everything that you eat, you drink, they are chemicals. And some of these chemicals are carcinogens. These chemicals are used as pesticides. As so many things. Pesticide is one bad example. It's okay. But they are used as food preservative, used as air freshener, they are used as so many things. Okay? And it is there. Where do they go? Where do they go? You did not eat all the things, all the chemicals. We did not drink all the chemicals. Where do they go? You have to answer this question. Where do they go? They go very fast. Okay. Now, they go into the environment. And we know now there is something going on in the environment. There are some lakes in the States where the animals lost their teeth, lost their features of reproduction, cannot reproduce. So many things happen, but these are on animals. And people begin to learn. And they found that the amount of chemicals in the lake or in the river that the animals live is very high. And these chemicals affect the fertility of the animals, affect the characteristic of the animals. And also, on human, there are so many reports to say that these chemicals can do this, that chemical can do this on human. But all these are not really showing a direct proof, because it does not happen directly. You are exposed to chemicals in a very small way, very minute quantity, trace amount. People do not believe that because of that you get this problem. This is the main issue here. That's why there is no solid proof to say that that chemical has done this, that chemical has done this. And these chemicals are persistent. They can survive in the environment for thousands of years. They will not degrade. That's why they call it persistent organic chemicals, or POPs. Okay? Some POP are persistent organic pollutants. Okay? Okay. Okay. These compounds are known as endocrine disrupting chemicals. Endocrine disrupting chemicals are chemicals that act on the endocrine system. They are exogenous. They are coming from outside. They are not from our own body. Okay? And once they get into the system, they affect the endocrine system. That means they derail the system. they make the system goes haywire, not as proposed or as it is supposed to happen. Okay, that is why they call endocrine disrupting. They disrupt the function of the endocrine system. So these chemicals, there are many of them. Oh, sorry, can you see? There are many around us, and these chemicals, most of them were already identified, but some are still in research stage. The problem with endocrine disrupting chemicals is that they are very unique. They don't act like normal chemicals. They act in very, very trace quantities. This leads to a lot of controversies in scientific research. People believe that in small dose, you will have no effect. The effect is exponentially parallel with the dose. You give more dose, you have more effect. But there is one phenomena which we call it inverted log dose response, where the smaller the dose, the effect is different. Okay, the effect is different. This can be shown in one of the pharmaceutical product. Let's take aspirin. Aspirin can be used for pain and also for fever, isn't it? At different dose, they have 2 therapeutic index. So this is working on an inverted log dose response. That means in a very, very small dose, the effect is there. Okay, so that is very dangerous. Okay, why? Let me show you. Okay, the EDC or endocrine disrupting chemicals exert their effect in minute quantities. I have to explain the EDC first before I go into the food. It's very important for us to. Okay, hormones in our body, they act on the receptor. We call receptor. If this is a hormone, they go and bind to something first. Then when they bind there, the receptor will trigger some other mechanisms that creates the effect. So the receptor is very important. We call it a receptor-mediated effects. Okay. So what does this endocrine disruptor do? They are not hormones, but they go and bind to the hormone receptor. They behave like hormone. Okay, they belagak macam tuan rumah. Dia bukan tuan rumah pun. So, when they bind to the receptor, they can do so many things. 3 most important things that they can do is, first, they mimic the hormone. They behave like the hormone. So the body thinks that, oh, the hormone is there, is active. So that is what they mimic, okay? That means the body knows, oh, the hormone is there. But actually that is not the hormone. That is the chemical. Okay, that is first mechanism. One example is diethylstilbestrol. They go and bind to the receptor and they act like the hormone. Okay, the second thing that this EDC can do is they block the receptor. When they bind to the receptor, they block it. The receptor is not functioning at that time. So if the real hormone comes, it cannot do anything. So it looks as if your body don't have hormone at that time. Because there's no receptor, so the hormone is there but it cannot act. Okay? That is what is meant by blocking. Pesticides like DDT, DDE and their metabolites do this. The third one is the most nasty one. Jahat sikit. When they bind to the receptor, they trigger haywire reaction. Unpredictable reaction. Some of them trigger aromatic, they change the chemicals into aromatic type, which is toxic, which acts on the brain and so on. And one example of the chemical that does this is dioxin. Have you heard of dioxin? It's a very, 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 supposed to be one of the most toxic chemicals. So dioxin does this. This dioxin will be generated if you incinerate rubbish and some waste. Incineration can produce dioxin. But in big countries, the dioxin that is produced is trapped. In Japan, they produce a lot of dioxin, but the dioxins are trapped. they don't go into the atmosphere. So dioxin is very nasty, and it can do so many things when they bind to the receptor. This is how the receptor works. Look at this. This is the hormone. This is the receptor. So when they sit there, then you can see the reaction. Oh. Okay. Oh. Okay. So this chemical is just take it as bisphenol A. This is genistein. This is cadmium. This is a hormone. All these chemicals, when they sit here, they exert certain reaction. They are not hormones, but if they go and sit here, there is a certain reaction. The extent of the reaction are different. If this hormone sits here, it gives 100% reaction. You get the real effect. If this cadmium sits here, it gives maybe 30% or 10% of the reaction. If bisphenol sits here, it gives maybe 5%. But the receptor is already taken. The real hormone cannot go and sit there anymore. So that is exactly what is happening here. You see there are many chemicals, but same receptor. They have the same receptor, but the effect when they sit on the receptor are different. Okay. If you look at these chemicals, there are so many chemicals. All these are chemicals that can affect the estrogen receptor. They can sit on the estrogen receptor and show some effect, but the effect is not the same. From here to here, the effect is 1 here. Here, very, very slight effect. Very low effect. But there is an effect, and the receptor is already taken. Can you follow? Okay. So this is exactly what endocrine disruptors can do. There are so many chemicals here. This is an experiment by Ishihara from Osaka University. They try all the chemicals and they see all the effects, but they are very different. Not the same effect. Okay. What is hidden in our food? Of course, if you see food with peculiar characteristic of this, you will know. But what I'm trying to tell you today is something that is hidden. We know the most complicated and the most scary area to get to import food is from China. Because from China, you cannot really be sure whether it is from this or this source or that source or whatever. Very difficult. Even in China itself, the officers there find it difficult to monitor. So that's what the report gives. The China Food Safety Inspection says that the result of their analysis is alarming. They find that a lot of the process is not adhered to in the production of the food. They don't comply with the requirement. Okay, they don't follow the requirement. So this is a very not very good thing to happen if we import food from there. Okay, they say that 51% of all the food facility checkups conducted in the country fail. 51% fail. So that means how bad it is, we don't know. In China, it is not 10 or 20 factories. Most probably it's billion. Okay, so if 51% of that, you can imagine. Okay, and there are also food coming from China, but reported in Vietnam, and they are not safe, they are toxic. And we also found melamine in Malaysia in about year 2000. We found a lot of melamine in many products. See, so many food products contain melamine. But the melamine that is mainly used by the Chinese is they adulterate the milk, which kills so many kids, so many babies. But we found in Malaysia, we detected melamine in biscuits. The ministry sent us some biscuits, and we checked, and we found the melamine there, and we traced back. Actually, it comes from baking powder. Yes, so the melamine comes from baking powder. They adulterate. The moment they can do something, they will do it to make money. So you have to be very alert in so many things. And in early 2008, milk products were contaminated by melamine. And 290,000 reported cases of kidney stone were found in children. This is only reported. The pediatrician told me they may be double. They were not reported. So this is the number of people who suffered. Okay, so this is melamine in China. And they were widespread. The first melamine were detected in cats in US. That's how they started to detect, because it destroys the kidney of the cat. It forms a complex, melamine plus calcium, and they form complex. Okay, this is how much biscuits. After we told them that they contain melamine and the government cannot allow them to be sold, so they were buried. So we lost a lot. We lost a lot. So much of, this is only biscuits. I have other things I cannot tell you. Because this is a government secret. We analyze for the government. Okay, but biscuits is open. Okay, they even publicize it in the paper. Okay, normally when we talk about food safety, we are concerned about washing, putting in the fridge and all that. Okay, this is a common thing that people think. People do not think about food packaging so much. Okay, see how food are packed. These packaging are very important. If you don't pack it properly, the food will be destroyed. You cannot make it last so long. For example, the vacuum pack is super. It helps a lot of mankind, to mankind. It really contributes a lot because they protect our food. Okay, we cannot live without plastic. It is very important. See, so we cannot throw plastics away. But what do? What are we supposed to be looking at? Okay, you see, so many things require plastic. And the industry is also going forward to produce more material for safety reasons and also for economic reasons. Oops. Okay. Lately, the health impact of plastic materials becomes more significant because chemicals from plastic are supposed to affect the reproductive system, obesity, and they also produce estrogenic effect. I will go into the detail. These new chemicals are also contributing to the new and emerging health problems. A lot of new health problems emerges because of exposure to plastics. Okay. One of the most important packaging material that is known to cause endocrine disrupting chemicals is plastics and its derivatives. Okay? I'm not trying to say that you have to throw away all the plastics, but I'm trying to show you what happens. Some of these materials release EDC into food. Because we pack the food with plastics, they are in contact, and the plastic materials can migrate into the food. Okay, so this can happen. And there are various factors that can help to do this. Some examples of materials that can migrate to the food are phthalates, bisphenol A, and polybrominated compounds, which are used in the packaging materials. Okay, most of the time, people are looking at economic reasons. They want cheap material, they want strong material, and they want light material and all that. Economic focus is there, but very few focus on health issues. The industry are more concerned on the economics of it, the business of it. Health issues are not there for them. They are not so concerned about health issues. Okay? And also environmental impacts. Okay? I don't want him yet. Okay. Okay, look at the environmental impact. This material is everywhere throughout the world, and they damage a lot of animals in the ocean and the environment. So this is what the people are more interested right now. Okay, of course this is a very important issue. Okay, it's not to be ignored as well. We are more concerned about plastic packaging. This is something which we call phthalates. They have endocrine disrupting chemicals. And the dangers is increasing each day. The dangers are being worked out and people find about the danger every day. This is very important. Okay, one of the chemicals that are found or that are used is called phthalates. Okay, phthalates. Phthalates or their esters are used to make plastic soft. If you find plastic is very soft, that means they contain higher phthalates. So, the softer the plastics, the more toxic it is. One nice thing that we see every day is that people use soft plastic to cover the food. Isn't it? The cling, whatever the plastic. Yes. So, that is the one that we use to cover the food. And the best part, better part is that the food are oily. And they are very, very soluble to the plastics. So this is something which we observe every day. And this is something that is true. It's not false news. Okay? Ini betul. Bukan berita palsu. So, what I'm trying to say is, we don't know. If we know, maybe we don't use it. This is what is hidden. And the plastic, the longer we wrap it with the plastic, the more plastic material migrate to the food. If the food is hot, the more they will migrate. If the food is acidic, more will migrate. If the food is alkaline, more will migrate. So, oily, acidic, alkaline, heat will encourage more of the plastic material to migrate into the food. If you know this, you know what to do today at home. Okay. So that is supposed to be taken home. There are so many types of esters, plastics, phthalates esters. Some of them are known to cause endocrine disruption. It will affect our endocrine system. Not all. Okay. Some plastics are very good. And I told you already, they are very useful. Okay, look at this. This one is used in hospital for sick patient, for children, in pediatric, they also use this. These are used by the kids, the babies. Of course, this is a baby using the plastic. So, phthalates are used as plasticizers. They are fat soluble. Fat soluble means they can dissolve in fat better. So if you have milk, they dissolve better because milk contains fat. They are found in baby milk formula because during preparation and all that, they can leach out from the materials. Also in vinyl flooring, PVC baby toys, bags, tubes, they are everywhere. Okay, PVC, the baby will crawl on the PVC. And if the baby is sweating, they can migrate into the baby's body through the whatever that is in contact with the mat. Can. But of course it is not that high. Okay, we don't go back and throw away the mat. It is not that bad. But what is important is for us to know it. You can limit it. Once you know what to do. If you don't know, you just ignore. If you spill milk on the plastic, don't let the baby crawl because that will enhance the absorption. Okay, if you spill oil on the plastic, don't let the baby crawl there. It will enhance the migration. So knowledge is very important. Okay. And these phthalates are testicular toxicants and so many medical problems that they can lead to. I have to go a bit faster. These are material that we screened for the ministry, and we found that there are a lot of phthalates inside there. And look at this and this. This is deliberately put into the baby's mouth to enhance the phthalates absorption, so that the baby gets more phthalates. You put it deliberately, purposely put it into the mouth. And these are plastics. And they are soft. Soft means they contain phthalates. Okay? So this is not food, but I consider this as something that goes in. And it's important, even though it's not food. And look at this. You put sauce inside. Sauce is acidic. Okay? Sauce is acidic. And you keep them for a long time. Sometime in the warung, it is hot. So acid plus heat, very good. Okay. This is just to let you know. The decision is yours. You have to know this. Okay. And look at all this. These are all plastics. Okay. One way to recognize this type of thing that has high phthalates is that they are sometimes thick and soft. If it is thin and thick, like the mineral water bottle, that one is not phthalates. Okay, that one is not phthalates. They are thick and soft. This is one good example. This one. I think you can imagine this one. You can imagine this one also. How it is. It is thick, soft. That one has high phthalates. Okay. Phthalates can do so many things. I think I need to go very fast now. They can affect the reproductive systems. And we found that they affect the testis morphology in rats. Okay? So that's what phthalates can do. And then comes obesogens. Carcinogen can cause cancer. Obesogens or obesogen, whatever you want to call it, they can cause obesity. So phthalates were reported in Lancet in 2000. Supposed to be the material that can cause obesity. Okay, so they call it obesogens. And immediately we tried to look at a few countries. I started to collect urine of people from different countries, and we had about 7 countries, and we analyzed the urine, and we analyzed for phthalates metabolites, and we found that, look at this, some of the countries are very, very high. That means they have a lot of material that is showing exposure to phthalates that they consume. Okay? Okay, then the next chemical is bisphenol A. This is the same chemical found in plastics, but this one is different. This one they found in the perspex, a bit harder. Bisphenol A is used to make plastics hard. Phthalates is used to make plastic soft. Whether it's hard plastic or soft plastic, they are not safe. Okay? So bisphenol A is used to make plastics hard, and they prevent oxidation as well. Okay, what is oxidation? If you take a plastic bottle, if you don't have bisphenol A, the plastic bottle will turn like rusty color after some time, yellowish. So if you put a bit of bisphenol A, it will stay clearer for a longer time. That's how they use it. Okay, they are used in so many things. If you look at this, polycarbonate plastics, they use for packaging. The cans for Coca-Cola, for whatever drink, the can is aluminium. If they don't coat with bisphenol A, it will be rusty. So all cans are coated with bisphenol A. So in the best can that I can find is in Japan. Because in Japan, in winter, they sell hot coffee with milk. So coffee, hot, and milk, and coated with bisphenol A is the best you can get. Okay? All the amount of bisphenol A you can get is maximum. Okay? So this is how we can get bisphenol A. Even Coke. Yes. Coke is acidic. Also the same. If you heat it a bit, then you get more bisphenol A. So this is what happens, and they are estrogenic at 2.5 ppb. They can also act as anti-androgen. So these chemicals can cause a lot of biological effect. They affect even prolactin, and hyperprolactinemia can result if there's increase in prolactin. And what we found here is that bisphenol A causes delay in pubertal development. They delay the pubertal development, okay, in rats. And there's one study in what country was that? The country that produced the vaccine for HIV. Cannot remember what country. Macau. No, not Macau. Never mind. If I remember, there's a study somewhere else where they found that this happens in human, in adolescents. Okay, they study on human. So in Cuba, yes, they reported that it happened in human. And nonylphenol also does the same. This is nonylphenol. They are not bisphenol. They are the brothers lah. Okay, brothers. I cannot explain in detail. Okay, what we did. At that time, I got a group of elective students. So I asked them to collect all the baby bottles around the country. They collected a lot, very good, efficient students. And we analyzed the baby feeding bottles, and we found a few things. We found that the baby bottles leach out a lot of bisphenol A, and we also found that when we expose the bottles to higher temperature, leaching is much higher. We also found that when the bottle is used several times, after many months, the leaching is more, because there are scratches that release the chemical out. And if you brush the chemical, the bottle very thoroughly, you can get more bisphenol A out. Okay, so this is what happened. So this is regarding the bottles. The old bottles are more dangerous. And then we look at babies born in PPUM. The first day they were born, we look at the cord blood and want to see what is inside. Okay, this is done very long ago. We found that on the first day they come out to see the world, maybe they have not seen the mother yet. They have chlorpyrifos in the body, they have butylphenol, they have hexylphenol, they have octylphenol, and they also have bisphenol A in their blood already. That means this can go through the fetal, from the mother, okay? It can go to the fetus. So that is what happened to the babies on the first day. And chlorpyrifos is a pesticide. And it can cause a lot of harm. It is used in most homes for anti-termite and all that. Okay. These are the results of, this is each baby. The interesting thing here is, some babies have more than one chemicals in their body. Some got 3 chemicals, 7 chemicals in the body on the first day they were born. Okay, so that is reality. Okay, and then on the 1st March, after about 3 years of fighting every day with the plastic industry, we managed to ban bisphenol A from baby feeding bottles. Because bisphenol A affect the babies. We don't want them to be exposed. Baby drink from the bottle every day. So imagine the exposure, how much? The blood level is very high. So we managed to convince the government at that time, in 2012, they banned. So no more bisphenol A in baby feeding bottles in Malaysia. Okay? So what happens next? Guess what happened? Very interesting. After that, we found in the market there are at least 8 analogs of bisphenol A. Not bisphenol A, but analogs, which is more dangerous. So quickly, I go and get urine samples from another 7-8 countries. We managed to get the urine and we analyzed them. We found that there are bisphenol S already. This is in May. We did not do this in May. We published in May. That means I think we do it just when we hear about it. We started getting the samples. So they are already using it. Not only in Malaysia, even in the States, they are using it already. So the industry is very fast. To them, it's business. They cannot collapse. Okay, so this is something that is happened outside. So we find that there's other bisphenol already being used, and we don't know the safety of it. They are not banned because they are not gazetted to be banned. Some are like drug abuse lah. You ban amphetamine, they come up with methamphetamine. You ban methamphetamine, they come up with methyl methamphetamine or whatever. So they are always one step ahead, sometimes 10 steps ahead. Okay, so this is what happened. And now you have a lot of bisphenol S in the country. And we look at this. I know these are sweets. Boleh tutup lampu tak? These are sweets. If you look at this, some are taken by kids, some are taken by adults. I think ada hats kat sini. The kids will not take, the adults will take it. Ada kat sini. I remember I bought the thing from the market. Okay, so we have a lot of these sweets. Just look at it. These are things that people consume. And if you look at this, they are wrappers. They are all wrapped with plastics. That is not enough. Look some more. They are labels. They are labels. These labels are ink. Industrial ink. Okay, industrial ink. And these industrial ink are very toxic. And these things are in contact with the sweets. They are in contact with the sweets. So they can leach out. Forget about bisphenol A first. There are other things that can leach out. Okay? So, but since we are looking at bisphenol A, we found that in all the sweets that we found, we have 43% bisphenol A and 69% of nonylphenol in the sweets. So they are exposed. Our child are exposed. But lucky enough, I don't know lah. I think the children don't take this so much every day. Isn't it? They take once a while, maybe not every day. But the exposure is there. Unless somebody feed the children sweets every day, I don't know. But they are exposed. And look at what happens around us. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Nobody knows. There is no lab who can test all the products because the products are so much. Too much to test. But what we need to know is they are available everywhere. And the kids like them. The kids like them. It's nice to the kids. Kalau tak percaya balik, beli. See whether the kids take it or not. They like it. And these are all unknown. I don't know. Look at this. I can see thousands of toxic chemicals inside here. Okay? We don't know unless we analyze. But we have to be very careful. Lifestyle factors. Just now we are talking about what is inside. Actually, this is a very nice caption here. Genes load the gun. We already have got the genes inside our body. We have whatever gene that we inherit or whatever. But our lifestyle is the one that pull the trigger. Whether you get cancer, you get diabetes, you get what, it depends on your lifestyle. If your lifestyle is in such a line or such a way, you get such thing. If your lifestyle is this way, you get that thing. So how you live with it is very important. Plastic can be there, but how you handle plastic is your job. See, if you know what to do with it, there's no worry. Okay, you can live very happily ever after. But if you don't know how to handle, you get into trouble. You need the plastic. You cannot throw away all the plastics. You keep things in plastic because they are very handy. But how to handle it? I give one example. Some people buy margarine. After the margarine finish, they put in oil inside to keep the oil. That plastic is meant to transport margarine from the factory to the house and to use it by the consumers, not to store oil. They are not meant for that. Okay? Mineral water bottle, they are supposed to store the water for consumption. After that, no more. But people use it for other things. They even put cough mixture inside there. They put whatever. That is not what it's meant for. So that is our own fault, not the manufacturer's fault. Plastic is good, and if you don't use it properly, it's up to you. So that is exactly what this thing means. Look at this. Oh, this bottle is plastic, and this is what I was talking about. The pellets just now, thick and soft. So this is a very, very good source of pellets. And inside there, I don't know, if I tell you, you will not eat anything. The chemicals there are ridiculous. These are juice. I think it's blackcurrant or blackcurrant. Cannot remember. So long already. Pomegranate. Yes. So long. This is, I think, around 2000 when I was young last time. We did that. But it's still available now. Still available. What happens here is that inside there is all dye, sugar, coloring, flavors, are all chemicals. There's no pomegranate there. You can cut my 2 fingers. Don't cut a lot. Just cut a bit. There's no pomegranate there. I can assure you. Yes, and this is what you get if you go for buffet or whatever, the drink that they serve you. They will not serve you pomegranate juice made by the blender. No. I don't think so. Yes, so this is what you get. And they put in plastic container. They store it in the godown. Their store is not room temperature. If you don't believe me, you go. Because I have been there. I went with the ministry people. When they go and sample this, I said, I want to go once, just want to see. It's very hot. Okay, so this is what happened. Cooking oil, these are oil. You put in plastic. And there are more things. I think I have some more pictures here. This one. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. People can have the heart to give this to their child. It's like giving poison. You don't know anything about this. You won't know anything. It's hidden. That's why I show this. First, the plastics. Second, the labeling. Third, the coloring. Fourth, the flavors. It can go on. So many things. So, think twice. Okay? Think twice. This is very common if you go to weddings. The weddings, they put in the gift bag or whatever. Very common. My son used to get it. And he knows already. Daddy, this is toxic. Okay, so I am safe for that. Some more. This is how they market it. When you get it, you don't get things like this. You get it in a nice cup with a brilliant color, all glittering red preparation. You don't get things like this. Okay, so this is behind the scene. Okay. Chemicals in the environment. All these chemicals will go into the environment. Whatever you do, it will go into the environment. Hilang. Oops. Okay. There are so many things in the environment. And what I am interested now is water. One of my friends tried to look at what is in the water. He measured 61 chemicals. One sample that I got from him is, this sample, they detected 27 chemicals out of 61. The method is meant to detect 61 chemicals. And one sample of the water, they can even detect 27 chemicals. That means how much chemicals are in the water. No, not mineral water. This is river water. Not mineral water. No. River water. Okay. So there are so many. Okay, I want to tell you something since people ask. Our water purification system cannot detect any of this. They are soluble. our purification system filters particulate matters. If, like Sungai Kelantan, banyak, what is this, silt, yes, they filter. But these are dissolved material. They cannot filter. And they are in trace quantities. I will show you more afterward. Oh, tak banyak dah. But I will definitely will not miss it. I will tell you. It's very important. Why water? Why we study water? Because whatever you do, water is there. You take rice, you cook with water. All the chemicals will not go away. The water will evaporate, but the chemical residues are there. Okay? What else you do? You drink, sure, chemicals are there. You bought cake with water. You bought curry puff with water. So you goreng pisang with oil, not with water, kan? Okay, you know at this. There are so many toyo there, which we cannot identify. This man is looking for all the silt. Okay, they remove all the things, but there are things that we don't see. So these are all the ones that pass through and come back to your breakfast table. The one that you drink every morning will contain that. You'll be surprised to see what are the things that comes back. We try to monitor water in many countries. We do it in Vietnam because Vietnam is well known. This man is in charge. He said it's well known Vietnamese farmers just throw pesticide like that. So we do testing in many countries: China, Japan, Vietnam, Korea, Singapore, Indonesia, and some parts of India. India is too big. We cannot do all. So this is what we do, and we found that they are about the same. And these are the water that circulate. It comes back to Malaysia, don't worry. They are in the sea. They come back. Okay, so this thing happens. Okay, oh. Oops. What? Okay. Is it true? Okay, never mind. Okay, there are more things to be said regarding water. Our waste all goes to water, isn't it? All our waste goes to water. Antibiotic residues, very well known. Now, people from ID department are complaining. They say hospital resistance, bacterial resistance to a lot of organisms now. So many infectious disease, they cannot handle it because antibiotics doesn't work that way like last time. The resistance is being acquired from everywhere and getting more difficult to handle these cases. And you will see afterward how this thing can happen. Okay, I will proceed. Oh, okay. We sample some water in Negeri Sembilan, and we look at a few things, and we found that there are so many things inside the water. Even estrogens, and pharmaceuticals are there, antibiotics are there, pesticides are there, and the concentrations are low, but it is there. So this man, she said, if you don't have enough antibiotics, just drink the local water. So you get some antibiotics. What happened here is that in Malaysia, there are a lot of animal husbandry. They rear pigs, they rear chicken and all that. These animals need antibiotics. And all the expired antibiotics were fed to the animals. It's cheapest. And they feed the animals with the feed. You know, they mix with the feed. And if the animal cannot finish, they just wash the feed into the river. That's all. So the antibiotics get carried into the river. So the area that is along the river will have quite a significant amount of antibiotics. And fortunately, the water system pumps the water from this area as well, in Selangor. So we get, and one time my student, my RA, my research officer was collecting sample in Selangor River. They found one industry throwing all the dyes and all that into the river. There were no enforcement officers to handle it. So this is what we will get in our water. The system cannot remove all this. They are soluble. Okay. So this is one more way, antibiotics. Okay. Tomorrow you get antibiotics in the water. Because there's no way you can get rid of it. Our water purification system don't destroy it. What we are hoping for is microorganism break it down. But microorganism cannot break antibiotics that easily. It's their enemy. So, I don't know. This is what I got from my friend. They found this antibiotic, these pesticides in the breast milk. Okay, talking about breast. Okay, it is very important for us to know. We are exposed to a lot of chemicals. The breast is the most fatty tissue in our body. Correct or not? It's all fat. So if you are exposed to so much of chemicals, please be aware or be careful if you are pregnant. Try to avoid so much of these chemicals because they will accumulate. But I'm not overlooking the one that has already accumulated. So when you give milk to your baby, it must be from the breast. So there may be a lot of these accumulated chemicals that is transferred to the baby. So as a precautionary measure, please be careful. Ladies especially, if you are a teenager or if you are getting married or whatever, think about this so that you don't expose so much of these chemicals to the babies. We can reduce. We cannot avoid totally, but we can reduce. So this is what we study in the muscles, the pesticides in the muscles. Muscles is among the dirtiest thing that you can find on earth. Okay, very dirty. You can get all these chemicals. Okay, one more. I'm going to read quickly. This is a new emerging chemicals, the perfluorochemical. That means they contain fluorine. Fluorine are very toxic chemicals and they are very stubborn. They can last very long. And this perfluorochemical is unique. It has a long chain which repel water, the front part which attracts water. So what is happening here is that these chemicals can be used for so many purposes because they can repel water and reject oil. These are used for the telephone, the one that you are holding every day. Your shirt, if you have good expensive shirt that repels water, high quality shirts are made from this. And the non-stick cooking pan are made with this. They don't stick. They repel both. And these are called perfluorochemicals. And these were reported to affect the peroxisome proliferation activity. The pipa gamma, or the pipa, I think there's a lot of research on that. And the pipa is also, this chemical also acts on the pipa and it inhibits cell communication. This is a potential carcinogen. Okay, so be very careful. And studies. Stop. Okay. This has been studied quite intensively to look at the animals exposed to this for 14 days, intraperitoneal. They look at this and they found that they affect the menstrual cycle. Okay, and we collected samples also from many countries, and we found that PFOS is found in human blood. Malaysia is not so bad, and this is not now. This is long ago. I think year 2004. Now everybody has got handphone already. Maybe higher PFOS inside. This is old study. Okay. Phytoestrogens. These are from plants. These are from soybean. Okay. Phytoestrogens also contains genistein and diazine, which literally acts like estrogen. They are estrogens, but they come from plants. And we look at the vegetarians and non-vegetarians. We find that the vegetarian has higher phytoestrogens in the blood, and I think I need to go much faster. And we compare plasma levels in women with and without breast cancer. we found that there are certain chemicals very high in women with cancer, but this, be careful with it, this is in the plasma. This is in the plasma. They accumulate not in the plasma. Plasma is short-lived. They accumulate in the tissue. Okay? So it is not so high, but it is still high. What we need to see now is, look at this in the breast tissue. They have very high bisphenol A. This is a real patient sample. Okay, we were shocked to see this, but this is reality. Even if there is a big mistake in measurement, it cannot be this big. If people want to query this value, they say this is a mistake. It cannot be that big. Our machine are tip-top. So it cannot cheat us. Okay. Okay, to summarize, exposure in adulthood may be compensated. What it means here is that when we are exposed as an adult, our body can basically some way, somehow handle these materials. But when they happen when programming, when the fetus is developing during that time, then they may affect the fetus. Okay? Okay. Exposure during the development, certain chemicals affect certain things. This is called the critical window of exposure, where if they are exposed at that particular time, like say during organogenesis, during the organ is being developed, a certain part, then that organ will be affected. So this is exactly what happens with endocrine disruptors. That's why you don't see it happening in everybody. All of us drink milk in plastic bottles last time, but we are all okay. The ones who are not okay may not be here. And people do not relate it to that. See, people do not associate it with that. Okay. And also hormones are working in very, very small quantity. They can also have crosstalk. They make mistake. So it can also happen. So one thing here, important thing to take note is that we cannot extrapolate results. When we do experiment in the lab, we cannot take that result as universal. It happens in every man, in every woman. Cannot. We have to be very, very careful with the lab results because we are doing on animals. Sometimes what is happening to the animals may not be the same as in human. So we have to be very careful with that. Do not extrapolate everything into human. Okay? General conclusion, endocrine disruptors exist. Okay? And they have different activities. I think we can skip this. We need to search more on this. And the cause for concern. We must take this precautionary principle. We cannot go home and throw everything out and say, I don't like these endocrine disruptors. But we have to take precaution. We have to know, we have to be sure what we have to do, then do it in the right way. That is the best way to go. We cannot simply go home and throw everything, throw all the plastics. Better give me, I will use it. Okay? So, this is the beginning. Today I have given you what you are supposed to know. So, keep our environment clean and do what is best, because we cannot trust anything that comes from the industry, because they are supposed to do business, and sometimes they know what is right and what is wrong, but they expect us to do it. Okay. Okay, so I think that's about all that because I'm taking too much time already.
Okay, thank you, Prof, for the engaging presentation. Now, would you like to open the floor for any burning questions? Maybe one or two?
Okay.
Okay, if there is a question.
Salam. Yeah.
I just wanted to know that we have a lot of issues pertaining to all these artificial cosmetics being in the market now. So besides all this mercury, this the heating will affect the product itself or not?
Okay, cosmetics is another thing that I had a lot of information, but I can't give it today. cosmetics contains a lot of chemicals. There's no way dia akan cari pucuk paku atau pucuk apa to make cosmetics. No, they are all chemicals, and they act individually in different way. What is more important is when two chemicals put together, they are more disastrous. They can act synergistically or they can antagonize each other. So this is very important. And all cosmetics, all 100%, all cosmetics comes with preservative. Okay, there are parabens. There are so many types of antibiotics that are even more serious endocrine disruptors there. Okay, and also air fresheners. Air fresheners are no, full stop. They contain a lot of chemicals. It's for nothing. You don't need that. You are already fresh. Okay, so these are chemicals that is in the environment. Okay, ada lagi soalan? Yes, Sidik. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Prof. You saved a lot of us. I think we should change the. Most of us are housewives, and then we should change the cooking style as well. Because if you keep the goreng, and like you mentioned about pisang goreng, if you look at this, I'm sorry, like medical cafe now closed down. You go inside and you have a look. The oil is like an Indian oil. They keep goreng it. So it's like these are the already oxidized oil that they are the hidden dangers as well. So I think we can do at home that, when you do like cooking, then don't keep goreng all this. I know the oil is, the price is increasing, but of course we can change the cooking style if you want.
Yeah,
And
you
number
should
two is that like, what you call it, kacang satay. I love that.
Oh, satay.
But it is really bakar. So it's like, buka puasa and all that, you go to the market, you can see that a lot of bakar. And these are, I think, hidden the carcinogens. So we can change our cooking styles, and probably we can save ourselves and our children.
Yes, I think it's very true. Cooking can change a lot of things. The satay will contain acrylamide because they are protein, amino acids that have been converted to acrylamide, which is carcinogen. And that can happen very easily. And the minyak is also one issue because minyak comes from different sources, the palm oil and all that. Some can be over-oxidized and they can be very toxic. And the worst is, there are some minyak which is not real minyak. Recycle, they come from minyak kereta. Bukan minyak, engine oil. Bukan petrol, minyak engine. Yes, it has been detected in many places. So that is very toxic, very toxic. I cannot go into detail for that. Yeah, please. Thank you.
I have a mother-in-law who was told in direct selling that from the wok to the pot to the utensils and things that you can put in food to detoxify the chemicals in food. So whenever she buys vegetables or anything from the market, she put it in that infrared FIR thing. And she said, oh, it will detoxify and all that to be safe to eat. So she does it with everything. I think the intentions are good, her practice of that, but how far has any studies
If you ask me, I will say 100% fraud. Because the issue here is, where does the chemical go? They may be more dangerous. Because if you change the chemical, you have no idea whether it's safer or more toxic. It's a new chemical entity. No test done. Yes. So how do you know that they are safe? So I'm way more worried about that. Especially like antibiotics. If you let microorganisms act on it, it may be more dangerous. It becomes a new entity of antibiotics. We don't know.
Yeah, you're selling baju, innerwear that claims that can detoxify your body and all that. And,
Innerwear maybe, but they cannot detoxify your body. If you want to clean it, okay. Clean the inner clothing, fine.
you wear the
Oh.
and they're selling it by thousands. You say that it will help you to sway, detoxify your body. I mean,
That is another fraud. So you get double bonus. I don't think so. Yeah, Isham.
Yeah, I'm prompted to ask you this question because you mentioned pucuk paku. Last night,
Oh yeah, I heard.
referred to Professor Google says that
Yes.
pucuk paku is dangerous.
Yes.
And the incidence of stomach cancers and all this. How true is that?
Okay. That is right. That is not that pucuk paku. That is the one that is found in Sabah or so. That is not my expertise. But I have not found that the statement they say is carcinogen. I have not found anywhere that that plant is carcinogen. It may have some toxin. It's common. Plants have toxin. And they come in species. Different species. Pucuk paku may have different species. I think Prof. Haji, Prof. Halijah is there. It can, that one is not pucuk paku. Yes. But a layman will call it pucuk paku. They come in different species. Some species, these are secondary metabolites, they call it. Secondary metabolites are produced by plants only. And they can be different from what produced by our body. I think it is toxic. But it is not carcinogen. We cannot claim it's a carcinogen unless proven. Toxic, yes.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Pucuk paku belajar di sini.
Balik boleh makan, no problem. Yes, Prof. Chan, yeah.
I was just wondering about the organic plants that everyone seems to want to go for, or food. In Malaysia, how much of it is not contaminated and is really organic? Or can you recommend a good organic plant?
I think I am not into organics. First thing, I don't take vegetables. So, very far from organic. But we tested that one, I think about around year 2000. We tested some organic chemical vegetables. Some of them has pesticide. But not all, not all. So it's difficult for me to say which one is the best. But there are some organic vegetables we get on the market. They contain some pesticide. Yes, it's
So
there.
that means the government's regulation of this is also.
The government cannot control all. It's impossible to control all samples. They sample at random. That also, they have very limited capacity. It's expensive to monitor. One analysis is 250 ringgit. That means one vegetable from one supermarket costs about that much. Now I think it's about 400. So it's expensive. So we don't do that. But in some countries like Singapore, they measure at entry point. They sample at entry point. That is a bit more better. But we do that for imported vegetables. We do that, but not for local one. Yes. So in Cameron Highland, they are free to use. Because the government cannot monitor every single plant. So that is reality. Okay.
Okay.
Ada one more. Last one lah. Okay. Yes. Okay. For coal, it's almost nil. Yes, if you put in the fridge. Okay, she asked about food storage. If you want to store food in plastics, if you put it in the fridge, it's almost zero. Because at that temperature, the migration is not able to take place. So if you want to keep, let's say, juice in plastic, and if you keep it cold all the time, it's much, much safer than if you want to keep juice on the room temperature. In the fridge, for plastic, no migration. Very, very minimal. It's okay. Okay, so if you want to keep in the fridge, fine. No issue. Not outside. At room temperature, it can. 70% is at room temperature. 100% is at above 80. Yes. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
On that note, we have to come to the end of our talk today. I would like to call upon Dr. Saleh to deliver a token of appreciation to our speaker.
Sponsored by Nutri Plus Organic.
Please be reminded that we will conducting this talk on the first Thursday of every month, and to pique your interest, the subsequent topic as projected on the screen. We would like to invite all of you again to join us in time to come. On a side note, packed lunch is provided just along the corridor outside the hall. Thank you again for coming and have a good day ahead.